share my thoughts on this while they're in my head and it's raw and it's happening. I'm watching it right now. They're in tribal council. Let me see if I can flip this camera over. Yeah, that's better. So they are, where is it at? Right there. There we go. So they're in tribal council right now. And I've really enjoyed this season. It's been a very good plethora and dynamic to this season. Um, this is really. I've been watching Survivor since season 18. What brought me to the game, to the show, the reality show of Survivor? Um, Taj from SWD. Season 18 was my first ever just sit down, just watch. Couldn't wait till they came on Wednesday nights. Just couldn't wait, and I've been watching ever since. I've been watching, but ever season since season 40, since the winter season. After that, it has turned. Actually, no, it started actually a little earlier than that. Like with when they had the trans guy on there. Actually, I'm not even gonna do that. That's what that how they identified, but it was a female who felt like she was a male, so she went to the whole transition thing. Um, and there's been some other kind of SJW moments, social justice moments on there as well. But this ever since after the winter season, it has been really weird. Survivor and Big Brother. One of my brothers, suggested that I watched Big Brother. I forget which season he told me to watch. Like, I forget which one. 20 something, 22, 23, or something like that. I think it's 23, 22. Anyway, I watched it and they formed this cookout alliance, whatever. I watched Survivor season 41, and they formed a Black Alliance on there, and I think they tried to form a Black Alliance based off of the Black Alliance that they formed on Big Brother, which I wasn't even watching Big Brother. Someone suggested me watch that season, so I watched it. It was interesting. It was entertaining. Um, but I'm watching season 42 of Survivor right now, and it's been very entertaining. I've been thoroughly enjoying it. Um, they are in tribal council. This is the second part of the tribal council. They had two. They just started. They've already made the merge, and they're putting people on the jury. The first person that's on the jury is Chanel, who just happens to be black. And they had a little split tribe, and it was all guys on this one tribe, and um, what's happening? And the black guy that got voted out on that one, it just happened, and because it's a live tribal, he went and sat down by Chanel. So now you got two black people sitting by each other, and the other part of the other tribe was already targeting Drea, which is another black person. So if they would have got her out, and then they were targeting Marianne, they said Marianne's the other black person. The big guy Jonathan was like had a plan. He went to Marianne, they've been on the same tribe since day one, and he said, I'm going to tell Drea to vote, put your name down. And so it just looks so bad. It just looks it just looks bad. Like all the black people are just getting voted out. Boom, 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 boom. And so now they walking in and they get to see who just got voted out. They see two black people sitting by each other. And so now everything has just totally changed. They're like, wait a minute, no. I'm not supposed to put Dre's name down. We're not, They just see they it's almost like you see a pattern, and it's really weird for me because I've been watching Survivor for so long. But I've also noticed over the years they've been pushing this whole race relation crap, and they've been pushing this agenda with the whole race thing. Um, I do remember being the type of person that complained that they didn't put enough black people on Survivor. I'm not in that mindset anymore. I don't really care about that stuff anymore. But when you see something like this, it's really, really, really hard not to see it because everything is so visual. And so I had to put it on pause because I'm like, okay, wait a minute. Because that I'm watching this, and this is before they said anything, and these are already thoughts going on in my mind. Like I'm like, ooh, that don't look good. You got Chanel, and then you got Roxroy. They both on tribal, and they just walked in, and they all shocked, like their faces are shocked because it was a blind side. It wasn't according to plan, and so it's just really hard for me to. So I had to put it on pause and I had to say, okay, how can I separate looking at the visual shock of it and separate it um, to see the strategy, the strategic moves over skin color, or seeing personality and social and all the other dynamics that went into voting that person out. They did complain that Roxroy was a type of person that was kind of like not malleable, really hard to talk with, making decisions and gameplay, talking gameplay and all that stuff. So, they have legitimate reasons to vote that person out just from strategic gameplay reasons. And I have nothing to do with who he was as like, you know, who he was born, what kind of body he was born in. It's just him personally. So I can see that. Um, Drea, Jonathan said, let's vote Drea out so we can flush the idol out. I see why. I understand that as well. Um, so it's really hard to just base it on, okay, two black people got voted out this back to back, and they're on the jury, and now we're about to vote out another black person. So it's really hard to see that with just as is, without all the other things that are involved into making these decisions. Yes, I'm sorry, you just happen to be black, but you have an idol and you have all these other advantages. They probably don't know about all those other advantages, but they do know that you have an idol. It's not because you're black. It's just because you're Drea and you're playing the game really well, and you happen to just be a threat because you have an idol and we want to flush it out. So could there be some undertone stuff there? I have no idea. I'm not there. I really believe that if I was actually there, that I would fight for the commonality of common sense to be looked at. Like, I would really, like, especially today being Dr. Martin Luther King's Jr.'s celebration, birthday, that we would not judge people by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character, that we would look at those two people that are on the jury and say, okay, well, why are they on the jury? It's not because of the color of their skin, it's because of the content of character. Chanel just was really hard. She had backstabbed, I forget Tony, I think his name, I forget the guy's name. Um, and she just was really hard to work with, really hard to read. Um, and so she got blindsided. So there is very legitimate reasons why these two people are on the jury. Now, if I were in Drea or Marion's position and I saw that, like I said, I would have to use rationale in this whole situation, and hopefully, because they're sitting on the jury, so they have say on who they will vote for $1 million. So I would hope that I could bring enough common sense that would bring everybody back to one united front, and we're all contestants and we're playing this game. Yes, there's a lot of dynamics that goes into this. We cannot, you know, we can't be just colorblind. No, we see color. I see you Mexican. I see you're an Asian. I see I'm black. I see you white. I see we all have, similarities and we have differences. Okay, and that should be great and that should be good, but that should not be based on raw gameplay. Like, I'm voting for you because you're a Mexican. I'm voting for because it's really hard to see that now in 2023 that was the reason why they voted for Roxroy and Chanel. So anyway, that my mind is so blown. I was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe that I've been watching Survivor for this long, and I've never. It was so weird because when they were walking in, I was having these thoughts and these like emotions, and I was like being torn because I'm watching and I'm older, and I've really learned to just like look at things the way they are rather than this through this filter of this black lens or whatever, and it is so tough. I tell you, I they must feel so uncomfortable, all the white people up there. It's like because they have to make a decision, and they're not part of any generation that looked at any other people and looked down on them because of color or whatever. They're just like everybody is everybody, and they see the beauty in everybody. And I believe that. I don't believe that any of these contestants on here now are looking at the race of the folk and saying, okay, that's why we should vote it out, vote people out. I can't really speak on old school Survivor. I don't know, but this is just really strange to see. It is a ball of emotions like right now. I don't know what's about to happen, but it's like I feel for both sides. I think that's what it is. It's like I understand what Marianne and Dre are going through, and I feel like I understand. I can sympathize with Jonathan and Tori maybe, and um, Tori is so focused. She's just like she's unbreakable. Oh my gosh. And I don't know this chick name. I can't remember her name, but interesting. Anyway, thoughts later.